How y'all doing again? How you doing, classmates? Today, I'm going to have Destiny's IEP meeting. Now, Mr. Franklin's come to me and has asked me about some of the people that will be attending this meeting and what are their roles. So, we're going to have the meeting in a classroom. For example, this is my fiance's self-contained classroom here at Alice Coastman Elementary School where she works at. And you could have the meeting in Mr. Franklin's classroom, you can have a meeting in a conference room, but your job, first of all, and most important, is to find a private meeting location. Second, you as the IEP case manager have to make sure that that the parent receives what's called a notice of special education committee meeting. Now, this notice must go out within 20 days before the meeting. That way, you can have enough time if the parent decides they want to reschedule or the parent decides they want to do a phone conference. They can let you know ahead of time so that way you can accommodate the parent, because the parent is the most important part of the IEP meeting. Parent or parents. If they're not there, it's very hard to get a real picture of how Destiny's going to do, or how is she at home, what are the parents' educational concerns. So they play a vital role. So that's why this meeting notice is very important. It's also a legal notice telling them that they have the right to come to this meeting. They also receive what's called parental rights at this meeting to make sure they understand what their rights are according to the Individuals with Disabilities Educational Act. All right. Next, we come together, we set it up. So I bring Mr. Franklin into his classroom, and we sit down. Now, Destiny doesn't have a speech or language impairment, so I will go over those members in the final part of the video. I'll tell you some additional members later on in the video. But in this case here, Destiny's parents will be here, along with myself, Mr. Franklin, Destiny's math teacher, the school administrator or school counselor who is the licensed educational advocate, and also Destiny can be herself. Most of the time we really don't like the child to be involved in the meetings, especially when they're younger, but we're trying to get to that point now where they become more student-led. So we have a program that's called Aspire, where we do student-led meetings. So I'm going to say Destiny's an Aspire student, so she's going to be in this meeting, and she's going to help lead the meeting. But in most cases, the student's really not there until they're like 16 or 17. So, once we've all gathered together, we now are going to introduce ourselves to Destiny's parents. So, the first person to introduce themselves would normally be myself. So, I'm a special education teacher and IEP case manager. My role in the meeting is, first of all, I'm the marshal. I'm the judge. I want to make sure that every part of that IEP has been covered. I want to make sure that the parent has told their concerns about how they're doing in their educational programming, how the child is at home, then I'll ask Destiny what are some interest areas, what does she like, what does she prefer to do, what are her strengths and her weaknesses. Then next, I will then go over her accommodations, modifications. I have a meeting agenda that's about 13 steps, and I have to make sure I stay on that agenda. And I also have to make sure that people don't take stuff personal. If a general ed teacher might say something, but the school psychologist might not agree with it, or if a parent says one thing and the general education teacher might not agree with it, I have to kind of keep the order of the meeting. Now, the next person that'll introduce themselves will be Destiny's teachers. So Mr. Franklin will come up first. He'll say, I'm Mr. Franklin. I teach English and language arts. And then Destiny's math teacher will come up and then speak as well. Their job is to bring the work samples, the data, to tell how they're doing in their classroom, if they're passing, if they're failing, if any behavior interventions we're supposed to do are working, how are they doing academically, and they give a picture of this, but also they have to provide work samples as well. So their ELA, for example, you'll provide an ELA work sample. If they're in math, you'll see some math work samples. It is very important, special education teachers, to encourage the general ed teachers to bring those work samples so we can actually see how they're doing in the classroom. Also, the general ed teacher and special ed teacher will come together and we do progress monitoring. So as a special education teacher, I will also bring their progress report and what they've been doing in progress monitoring. So we have to complete progress reports every 9 weeks. So I will bring that as well to let Destiny's parents know how she's doing towards her annual goals and, if necessary, to develop new annual goals. In Destiny's case, the next person is the LEA, or the Licensed Educational Advocate. Their position is to make sure they know the district's policy. They go to training, so they know the district's policies on IDA. They know the district's policies on free and appropriate education. They know the background of every special education law there is. Their job is to make sure that this meeting and this IEP is following those guidelines. They are also there to answer questions if the parent has a question about certain accommodations or modifications or what's a district policy. They're there to answer those questions as well. Now, since Destiny is in the meeting, we'll give her an opportunity to speak. I asked to give her some of her background as well, tell how she's doing, how she feels about her goals. Now, let's go to some other members of an IEP meeting that you won't see in Destiny's IEP meeting, but you'll see in some others. Okay. In some cases, students have what's called, once they go through the Tier 3 process, and they get, as you've learned in 601, in Special Ed 601, they're given psychological testing based on special educational testing. Okay. Once they receive this testing, then they qualify, and they go through what's called an initial eligibility meeting. All right, this initial eligibility meeting, we have two very important people that attend this meeting. One's a school psychologist, the other one is a placement consultant. Now, I was just doing this video a couple of minutes ago. I had to start back over because my fiance just walked in. But she, just coming from a leadership meeting, she was once a placement consultant. And right now, she's back in the classroom right now as a lead contact teacher as well in the school. And also the contact teacher for the ESP department it's very important they attend the meetings as well. Especially if it's a situation where there's something that's going to have to be changed with placement, or maybe a situation has to be done. They're the first line of person you come to before you go to the placement consultant. So she has a tough role as well. Not only does she teach a self-contained classroom, but she also handles certain situations of placement and behavioral interventions as well. So she will also attend the meeting as well from time to time if there's any parental concerns or if we have concerns as special education teachers. Now, pause for a second. Hold on, y'all. Technology. Okay, so now, the next two people are the school psychologist and the placement consultant. Now, the school psychologist, they do all the testing. And then what you receive in the meeting is a packet. And normally it's this large. Yes, it's very large. Got a lot of test results in it. I can't show you due to FERPA. I'm not allowed to show you the names and stuff, but I just wanted to show you the packet itself. You can't see the names or anything, but I just want to show you how big this packet is. The packet's very huge. And they come to the meeting, they give you these packets, and they read these test results. These test results are important because on the back of the psychological, they give their recommendation of placement for the child. Once they give all these results, and once we've listened to feedback from the observation of the general ed teacher and also the special ed teacher, then the placement consultant, who's another vital member of the IEP committee or special education committee, they come in now and they then make the next step, which is to decide the exact legal placement of the child. Now, placement consultants, they play a variety of roles. They come to IEP meetings. They also attend manifestation meetings. Manifestation meeting is when a child has gone beyond 10 days of suspension, or they've done a serious offense at school and they have to be manifested to see if their behaviors is a part of their disabilities. So they attend those type of meetings too. They also do attend parental concern meetings because they're the next step after the contact teacher. And their job is to make sure that the special ed teachers in the building coordinate with the contact teacher, and they coordinate with the contact teacher to make sure that everything's being followed by special education law. So they sit there, they follow the IEPs, they check our IEPs, and they make sure our IEPs are done correctly. They also have the final say in actually the parent has the final say, because the placement consultant can say, well, your child qualifies for this. The parent might not agree. In that case, they can say, I don't agree with this. They don't, then that's it. Or they given 2 areas of disabilities, and they pick one. Now, I got about 5 minutes left. So, and other people that can attend your IEP meetings include your speech pathologist, your orthopedic therapist, your physical therapist, hearing impaired, people that work with hearing impaired, deaf and hearing impaired, hearing aid guides. They attend the meetings. They play a vital role too, because in the IEP, they set their own goals. So they're there to make sure that they give updates on the annual progress of the students' goals. Lastly, now I'm going to get to the parent. As I said earlier, parents play a vital role in the IEP committee and IEP meeting because they know their child. They're the one that gave birth to their child. They know their child very well. So they give information on what the child does at home. How are they at home? What are some characteristics of their behaviors at home? Do they do their homework? Are they withdrawn? Are they the type that rushes? Do they get along with their siblings? Sometimes parents don't want to open up. Sometimes parents have a hard time in meetings opening up because they're going through the same thing. So you have to kind of give them leading questions to kind of make them open up and speak. You want to say, hey, how is Destiny at home? Is Destiny doing her homework? Are you pleased that Destiny has grew? Like she was once reading only 20 words per minute, now she's reading 40 words per minute. Are you happy with these goals that we're setting for her? You want the parent to become more, you want that parent involved. But there are some cases where parents just don't want to be involved. I've seen that too. I've seen where I've tried to call parents numerous times. My fiance, for example, she had a case like that when I just got here to the school. She was telling me, man, I got this one kid that I think I'm going to have to retain. And it's sad because the parent won't even answer the phone. They might won't even come to the meeting. Some parents are like that too. But in Destiny's case, she's got awesome parents. So this meeting that we're going to have should be awesome because we have a collaboration of professionals as well as parents who are looking out for the best interest of Destiny. Now, my final 2 minutes, I know I'm supposed to do only a 2 to 3 minute video, but I told Dr. Keffler that I was going to give y'all a real background on what on the IEP people in the IEP meetings. These last 2 minutes, I just want to quickly tell y'all, special education is a profession that you have to have a lot of patience and heart for. Because it is a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of progress monitoring. It's a lot of advocacy. It's a lot of politicking, collaboration. I'm tired already. Coming from my school, I ran 4 grade levels. I have K through 3, so I'm in and out of classrooms all day. My fiancée, she's sitting in a classroom all day with a para, and she's working with students with MIs. So it takes a lot of heart and a lot of patience to do what we do as special education teachers. And we really are needing more special education teachers because we're swamped. Our caseloads are real swamped. So I really appreciate all my classmates that really want to get into this field. And I welcome y'all into this field. Take this MED and special ed that you're about to get and then go get a job in special ed because you will love it. If you got a heart and passion for it, you will love it. All right, I'm about to close this video. I want to thank y'all so much for your time. I hope this information helps you. If you got any more information, you need any more help, let me know. Just message me on the discussion board, and I can help you out very much. All right, thank y'all, and y'all have a wonderful day.